going to be as a receiver, or has he always embraced that, do you think?
Yeah, he's never said anything. I mean, he's always known that was one of the reasons we drafted him was we liked the fact that he could do all three aspects of our running back. He can run the ball, catch the ball, pass protect. So I mean, he knew it could come in different ways. It could be 10 targets, it could be 20 carries. I mean, we just never know.
You have a magic formula for touches from running back? Or
no, I wish I did. I mean, it's just kind of the flow of the game. I mean, sometimes it's just weird things happen. Sometimes, like one game, Frank goes out, and then all of a sudden, Kenny gets like 12 touches in a quarter.
Running back, receivers, tight ends, they all want the ball. That's like because that's what they do, and that's what they want. They think that if they're not getting the ball, they're not contributing. How do you look at sort of whether it's cool for guys to like say, I want the ball because I can do more, or is it like it's hard for me to know, like, is that good, is that bad, how do you balance that?
Yeah, I mean it's no doubt every guy wants as many touches as he can. I mean, receivers probably got one of the more frustrating jobs there is because you run all day and you get like 3 catches, or 5 catches. Like a good game is you get 8 catches for 100-some yards, like, and there's 70 plays in the game or 60. That's just, I mean, that's a low percentage, but it's that's what it is. And when you got a bunch of different guys and a team takes one guy away and then somebody else has got to kind of step up and make some plays. I mean, it's a little bit of a mental test of just being able to focus on that play, and when the ball comes to you, just make sure that you make the play we need.
Adam, I'm wondering about emotional hangover after big victories, and I think you said you liked your team's demeanor yesterday, but I think you guys had Jay Ajayi right against Cleveland in 2016, the overtime run. You had the playoff win in Denver, Tim Tebow, I guess, and then yesterday. But are there? I know I'm going back. Are there varying degrees of that emotional hangover, and how do you combat it?
Yeah, every team's different. I mean, a lot of times where we're at right now, and you're in the last month of the season, I don't think you really have time to really think like that. Like when it happens in a playoff game, I mean, that's all you're getting for, the next 3 days or 5 days, whatever it is. I think our guys have done a good job of moving on, and, it was a great way for the game to end for us. And, we have to focus on the next one, because if we don't, it could be over, and I don't think our guys are ready for that. They want to keep fighting. They want to keep seeing if we can put ourselves in position to where, when the last week's done, we can keep going.
Did you address that when the team gathered again? Sort of, hey, forget about what happened Sunday thing?
Yeah, I mean, we covered a lot of stuff, so, I mean, that may or may not have been a part of it.
Adam, can you talk about the challenges of facing a team that basically has 2 number 1 receivers?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, both those guys are. I remember when Diggs was a rookie. I mean, he was tough then. Everybody said he came out of nowhere. I mean, I think a lot of people knew who he was, and then he made plays right out the gate. And then the way that Thielen's playing right now, I mean, he's a tough guy to cover. I mean, I've seen, because we've had so many crossover games, I've seen about every way that he's been doubled this year, and some people got creative, and it didn't matter. Like they found a way to get him the ball, and he found a way to get open. He does a really good job with his routes. He makes it really tough for whoever's covering him, or the 2 guys that are trying to cover him. He makes it really tough.
How does a guy with that skill set end up small school, undrafted, no invite to the combine? Schools won't even let him do a 40. Like how in the world does that happen?
I don't know. I mean, I can't explain anything up to, the last couple of years, when I think he was a restricted free agent, and kind of, you kind of comb through and start watching guys, and when, we were watching him, I'm like, wow, this guy is, like, where'd this guy come from? And, I mean, he just keeps getting better. And he's seeing some different stuff that he's probably never gone against before, but he's finding ways to – he's figuring out within the game how to get open.
I want to ask you about Juwan James, and how many times would you say, or how many tackles would you say can pull and turn a corner like Juwan has been doing this year?
I think a lot of them probably do it really well on air, but not a lot of guys probably can do what he does because he can accelerate really fast and he gets going, and that's a big man coming around the corner at a high rate of speed, and that's why you see him get cut by the DBs, which I know that doesn't feel great for him. But when he turns that corner, I mean, if he gets somebody squared up, we're going to have a hole. And a lot of times when he comes around the corner, people are getting out of the way, so we're getting a hole there anyways. So that's been big for us. It's really helped. Last week it was really beneficial for us. Like, you know, we had a couple good, 10-plus yards on some carries there. And, we try to mix it up with him and just keep giving him some different ways to on certain plays, if it's gap scheme, of pulling him every once in a while, and then it helps him with all the other runs because people are aware that when he pulls, he does a good job with it.
How much growth have you seen from him over the course of while you guys have been together?
I think this year it's been, I want to say it's been as consistent as I remember. Maybe last year I'd a little hazier because he missed some time, at the end of the year. But I mean, he's had some tough matchups this year. This is probably out of the 3 years. This is probably the first time where it feels like every week he's getting a tough matchup. He's getting one of the guys that people are talking about, like, wow, this guy's really having a good year. I mean, he's had another one this week, and this is probably this would probably be a top 2, So, that's what it is. I mean, the DNs in this league are getting better and better, and the guys that can block them and use their help the right way and kind of set yourself up, those are the guys that are going to have success. And I think he's doing a good job of doing the things that we're asking him to do. And when he's on an island, he's figuring out a way to get those guys covered up and push him past the quarterback and making sure that guy can't jump inside and get a free hit.
And kind of on that same note, you guys have a play where Juwan and Jesse pull. And I think Frank Gore usually gets the ball. I know Kenyon's gotten it. But at a glance, that seems to be a very successful play for you guys. Has that been one of your most successful running plays this year?
It's when we've called it, it's been pretty good. There's been, we tried to run it at the end of the half, and I mean, that one didn't work as well. So that kind of started a free fall there. But, it all depends on the front and kind of how the points of entry are. And I mean, it starts with the first guy. When Jesse comes through, if he's clean on his, then Juwan can get through it. Now all of a sudden you got something going. So, I mean, it's been good probably the majority of the time. But I mean, there are times where we've run it where it's been a negative play or 0 yards.
Is that usually a Frank play, or does?
No, I mean, I don't even know who's in the game half the time when I'm calling those. So.
When you're looking at opponents, how often do you sort of make mental notes on guys that pop out at you from other teams so that down the road, if, the situation is right, you could...
Most of those guys don't usually get out of whatever team they're at, because they get re-signed and when it's free agency and things like that. But it probably happens a little bit, when you see a guy and you're like, man, that guy's a really good player. And so if that ever comes up, you remember stuff like that. You remember, especially when you play him, you're going to remember all the things that guy disrupted.
And is it an advantage when you find guys off of division rivals? Because you're hurting them.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially if you get around them and those guys are really contributing for you, then that's a good thing for us.
At this point, would it be a surprise if Xavier played?
I won't be surprised by anything around here for sure. I think we've almost covered everything.
How's he doing?
He seems good. I mean, he's just got to get to the point where he's testing out, and it's really the the quick twitch lateral stuff to see where he's at on that. We're just trying to make sure that we do right by him, and it's really going to be like, he's gonna have to tell me I'm good, let's go, so, and I just wanna make sure that that when he comes back, he feels right.
I want to ask you a question about your favorite topic, which is third downs offensively.
Yep,
They are number one in the league.
awesome.
How much of a challenge is that? I mean, and have you, I know it's about getting into favorable down and distances,
Right.
heading into third downs, but have you figured out what has been the crisis?
Yeah, I mean, I go through it every week. I keep watching the same stuff over and over again, I feel like, but, you add that game and then go back through it and kind of watch what you've done and what other teams do against you. And, some of it is we don't execute it. Sometimes it's a bad call. I've had a couple of those where it's just, dialed up the wrong thing at the wrong time. Like that third one last week. That was, wish if I could have one back, that would be it. And we just got to keep working it. We got to keep trying to figure out what's our strength, and we got to get the ball to the right guys. We got to get it to the guys that can get us the first down, whether it be running the ball, catching it, whatever it is. I mean, right now I think we're open for business when it comes to trying some different stuff when we need to, and the right situation calls for it. We need to just get the ball into the guys that can make plays.
Have you changed the routine of how you work on third downs? Or
We have tried everything. I mean, it's just the way it is right now. We just got to keep working on it. We got to try to. It really comes down to we got to get the ball in the right guy's hands.
Percentage of your time do you think you spend scheming plays versus being the CEO of the team?
I don't even know. I can't. That's a hard one to answer because everything moves faster in the day, to where you can be doing one thing and watching film, and all of a sudden something comes up. We got to go deal with that, and then come back. I mean, it's just that's how it is all day. There's no shortage of. I guess I'm not looking for stuff to do. You know what I mean? Like there's something on my plate all the time.
All right, thanks, guys.